This is an island surrounded by water, big water, ocean water. Trust me, I'm like a smart person. I'm very consistent. I'm a very stable genius. I had the best words, tolerated. I know words. Mike Pounds. I hope they now go and take a look at the oranges of the investigation. But there's no better word than stupid. Anonymous, really anonymous. I'm very highly educated. One of the wettest we've ever seen from the standpoint of water. Had the best words. God bless the United States.
Now witness the firepower of this fully armed and operational battle station.
We have to keep our country gay.
Oh yeah.
Around the nation, Waldorf Nation. What's up, everybody? It's Wednesday, midweek, and we've got some show for you. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We're gonna have some fun today. All right. So first, we have Donald Trump and his relationship to the LGBTQ community, which apparently is not that good. So We have that. That's fun. We have, of course, old school racism, including him not believing that black staffers could be highly, highly trained or whatever, congressional staffers, but instead, it's part of the wait staff. We also have, of course, other stuff. Marjorie Greene raging, as well as a fun video to go along with that. And Ken Paxton is psychotic. So, yeah, that's another fun one, too. That said, Roar Sarabeth, happy late birthday. It's my birthday, too. Can I get a happy birthday? Yes. Roar Sarabeth, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Hopefully it's a good one. And that you're having an excellent day. And I'm really glad to have you here with us on the show. So, Ravaging Wolverine says, yeah, we knew. I know, but it's more fun stuff anyway. Let's see. How did my B-Day go? Busy. It was busy. I got actually caught up with a lot of things that I haven't had the chance to do during the week, so I did a lot of running around. But at least the last half of the day, ordered a little pizza, didn't have to cook anything. And just relax, play some video games for a bit. And, it's just generally a good, relaxing day after I got done with all the stuff that I had to do. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Compare any bodies? Well, if I did, I'm not going to tell you. Because I'm like a smart person.
Person, woman, man, camera, TV.
Very, very intelligent.
And then they say, "Is Donald Trump an intellectual?" Trust me, I'm like a smart person.
A very, very smart person. So, no, I wouldn't admit that. Philman Tim 51 says, had my last chemo treatment yesterday after 28 weeks. It was a special day for me, too. Well, good. Hopefully, things are going well. By the way, that just reminds me, Jesse Dollimore was recently diagnosed with colon cancer, and I just want to give him a shout out too, because he's a good progressive, just generally a really good person, and hopefully he can go and beat this thing as well. So, all right. Anyway, thank you for all the very kind shout outs, Rial and N. Thank you for the super chat. It was a good one, and thank you, Jonathan Leiter. Really appreciate that as well. All right. With that said, why don't we dive in? Have a little fun. The best words, the greatest words ever. Okay. Former President Donald Trump has the best words, the greatest words, and he is going to use those words in this next video. Take a look.
Remember, I was going to use an expression, we have to keep our country gay, but it's not, for some reason, it's just not great anymore.
Accidentally based. Yes, let's keep America gay. And 100%, I endorse this. That's great. I love it. And of course, I'll just have to add.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. Now, look, of course, unfortunately, he didn't actually mean it. It's your classic Trump brain melt moment. I know, very stable genius, right? But no, look, in reality, Donald Trump was terrible for the LGBTQIA plus community. And I'm going to give you some examples why. During his time in office, he advanced multiple policies that made it easier to discriminate against the LGBTQ community in the U.S., and has been supportive, of course, of the Republican basically witch hunt against trans people, especially trans children. They've been absolutely brutal to that community. In fact, a few examples that are specific is where he banned transgender people from the military, well, of course. And by the way, the military has been in the midst of a recruiting crisis for quite some time. But yes, let's just ban transgender people from the military. Somehow that makes you smart. smartest people, the best people. He also eliminated the guidelines on treatment of transgender students, allowing for discrimination, and gutted the Obama administration's order that barred companies with federal contracts from discriminating based on sexual orientation or gender identity. So now the party itself, as I mentioned, they've already gone in an incredibly transphobic direction, with multiple states putting on bans for transgender athletes in schools, despite most of these states not having any trans athletes at all, or at least no openly transgender athletes. And so they're basically trying to solve a problem that does not exist. Great. That said, his hatred not limited to trans people, according to Maggie Haberman's new book, which, by the way, just got to call her out for like sitting on all this and stuff so that she can sell a book. That is kind of gross. Nonetheless, the stuff that you find in it is interesting. In this book, Trump stunned his own staffers with how virulently homophobic and transphobic he was. One example is from a week before the second debate with Hillary Clinton, who was also, by the way, said at least one kind of transphobic thing, as in they don't really matter. So again, no credit where no credit is due. She didn't seem to be that much better, at least rhetoric-wise. That said, this happened in St. Louis. Trump's close advisor at the time, Reince Priebus, presented Trump with a question on same-sex bathrooms. In playing the role of a female transgender student, Priebus asked Trump whether his hypothetical student could use the girls' bathroom. Without missing a beat, Trump said he had a question. This was his question. Cocked or decocked?
Tallywhacker.
Offering up a blank stare, the group was taken aback. One individual who was unspecified asked, "Decocked? What do you mean?" Trump then began making a chopping gesture, saying with cock or without cock. Now remember, we're talking about a child, okay? We're talking about school kids. So with that context in mind, an advisor in the room asked him, "What difference does it make?" His response was, "What if a girl was in the bathroom and someone came in, lifted up a skirt, and a schlong was hanging out?"
Tallywhacker.
That's what he's thinking about. Okay? Now, first of all, does he not understand the idea of stalls? Bathroom stalls? But his answer also, more importantly, feeds into the stereotypes of, and again, we're talking about children here. We're talking about trans teens and children, right? The stereotype that somehow they would go into the bathrooms and start flashing the cisgender girls there. I mean, that's insane. Why would you think about that? It's disgusting to believe that somebody who, that somebody has devoted so much mental energy, and with Trump, that comes at a premium, by the way, mental energy, into imagining that this scenario is playing out. Like they're just constantly thinking about it. But understand, that's who they are. But there's more. Elsewhere in the book, former Trump employees said that the now ex-president was also show off photos of women he knew intimately as a display of his so-called masculinity. They also recalled Trump mocking homosexual men who were seen as weak, with the words queer, or of course using the straight-up F slur. He also tended to bully those in his staff who he believed were gay or who were gay, but not to their faces. Instead, they would make fun of them. He would make fun of them behind closed doors. Now, let me tell you what, that's super manly behavior right there. Oh, yes. Oh, very, very, very masculine right there. Making fun of people behind their back. Real alpha male stuff, Considering, by the way, this is somebody who is very soft, easily triggered. In particular, former Trump organization executive Alan Marcus said Trump would belittle another executive that Trump believed was gay as a queer and bragged that he paid the executive less. And additionally, the New York Times reporter explained how Trump would have strange obsessions over whether or not specific people, both inside and outside of his orbit, were gay. What does it matter? What does it matter? In the early days of the administration, during a meeting with then Vice President Mike Pence and ex-communications campaign boss Jason Miller, Trump deemed that the latter, Miller, liked the ladies. Trump, according to the book, further said of Miller, you know how sometimes someone turns out to be gay later and you knew this guy, he isn't even like 1% gay. Again, who cares? Understand, this is a thing that boggles my mind about people who are virulently homophobic and transphobic. Okay? First, for people who are hate and are disgusted by certain groups of people, which again I don't understand why, but for people who are they have to just be so obsessed with the people that they hate. They can't help but think and talk about them all the time. It is absolutely bizarre. And it looks like on the right, unfortunately, there's a huge obsession with being perceived as super masculine by other people, by other men specifically. Do you not understand how that's probably one of the least masculine things that you could do, is to care so much about how masculine other dudes believe you are? No, you don't understand. I have to be a super masculine tough guy so I can impress men. Really? Is that why you're doing that? That seems a little weird. Ladies, I can't speak for you, but I would assume that men who are so insecure that they would sit there and obsess about the other, about other men, or the idea of other men, seeing them as not masculine enough. I don't know. I can't speak for you, but wouldn't you not find that attractive? Isn't that unattractive? I mean, again, insecure men seem, I don't know, kind of weak. How else do I put it? Beta male. I don't know. I mean, you tell me, maybe I'm wrong, right? But I hear all the time that, women like confident men who are secure in themselves and their sexuality and their expression, and who don't constantly obsess about their masculinity and how they appear to other people. And who aren't constantly crapping their pants over the existence of gay and trans people or drag queens or anything like that. But you tell me, who's the real beta males? Okay. Moving on. Former President Donald Trump apparently had a difficult time believing that black congressional staffers were there for other reasons than to be his personal waiters. In fact, according to an advanced copy of the New York Times reporter Maggie Haberman's book, Confidence Man, Trump had assumed that a group of congressional staffers were simply waiters, and then told them, go get me some food. Hey, you, waiter. Get me a Diet Coke and a hamburger, okay? Now, Reince Priebus, who was White House chief of staff at the time, told Trump that they were not waiters. They were actually congressional aides. Now, I guess maybe it was a surprise to Trump to see black people as congressional aides to Republicans. I guess maybe you don't see that very often. But still, yes, it might be a small thing, but it does show you the assumptions. Now, of course, afterwards, after he told Trump that, hey, they're not actually waiters, Priebus then went to go find the waiters for Trump.
Beta male.
Just saying. But look, again, we'll get to the important thing, which is the assumptions, okay? Why is it that the black people that were there were immediately singled out and considered to be waitstaff? Seems rather strange, right? Well, because in his mind, that's their only role, to serve him in all of the menial tasks. Again, this isn't just a case of implicit bias, which absolutely exists, but no, it's more than that. Donald Trump has a history of racist, sexist, and xenophobic behavior. Part of that is, played out a long time ago, all the way back in the early 2000s, publicly, because if you can remember at that time, he was asking about Obama's, not birth certificate afterwards, but his college transcripts. This is what he said during an interview with the Associated Press on Obama. I heard he was a terrible student. Terrible. How does a bad student go to Columbia and then go to Harvard? I'm thinking about it. I'm certainly looking into it. Let him show his records. Let's see the college transcripts. That's what he's asking from. That's what he was asking from Obama. Now, look, Obama graduated from Columbia University in 1983 with a degree in political science after transferring from Occidental College in California. He went on to Harvard Law, where he graduated magna cum laude in 1991 and was the first black president of the Harvard Law Review. Very smart person, okay? Incredibly intelligent, very hardworking, in college. Okay. But see, Trump, he didn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. Not at all. No. He said, a lot of people want to see his college transcripts. Trump said in an interview with CNBC, they're not looking at his marks, his grades. They want to see, what does he say about place of birth? Now, those transcripts have disappeared. Nobody seems to be able to get them. Nobody. That's, again, super projection, right? But there's more. I have friends who have smart sons with great marks, great boards, great everything, and they can't get into Harvard. We don't know a thing about this guy. There are a lot of questions that are unanswered about our president.
Obama.
Look, he literally does not believe that black people could be smart enough to become staffers, lawyers, or, and especially presidents, by the way. And again, this guy's a birther, and always, of course, uses low IQ, attacks against specifically black people. He's using it against Letitia James right now. By the way, also calling Letitia James a racist, which is ridiculous. But again, the guy was a birther. The insane conspiracy, of course, which claimed that then President Obama was a secret Muslim that was born in Kenya, that, was apparently somehow elevated and installed as president and therefore was illegitimate. Again, the conspiracy theories, they go way back. But at the same time, to show you the hypocrisy, he sealed his own college records away and refused to show them to anybody who was asking. In fact, back when Michael Cohen was his fixer, a reporter from The Guardian actually called him to ask about Trump releasing his records, since, of course, he did ask Obama to do the same. I just want to let you hear that answer.
And I'll tell you what, why don't you do this, since you want to be so clever?
Yeah.
Why don't you turn around and say, if Mr. Trump releases all of his records to you,
Yeah.
you will donate $5 million to the charity of his choice.
Well, I'm afraid I don't have $5 million.
I'm afraid then that you shouldn't be asking the same request then.
Well, do you not think Barack Obama has been scrutinized for the
No,
past 4
actually, I
years?
don't. And no, actually, Mr. Trump does not.
But, you said I can get the information on Mr. Trump from various books.
I'll tell you what we'll do for you is since you want records, do it under the same terms that Mr. Trump is. Make a donation to Mr. Trump's favorite charity.
Well, I mean, I could make a donation, but it's not going to be $5 million.
Okay, 500,000.
500,000. We don't quite make that much money in journalism. I mean, is the answer essentially no, I cannot have these? Because earlier you said if I provided my college records, Mr. Trump would provide his. Is that deal still on?
I'll take it up with Mr. Trump. How's that?
Okay.
And by the way, while we're at it, I'd like to have all your authorizations under HIPAA for all your medical records as well.
Well, I mean, that's going a bit far.
Why?
It is really amazing how much of a dickhead Michael Cohen used to be. But again, he was Trump's fixer again, and so it's a pattern. It's a pattern. Being around all that toxicity really gets to your brain. But look, after Trump had moved into the White House after Obama, Trump told a visitor that he had to have the bathrooms remodeled. You understand what I'm talking about, he told the guest, who then interpreted it and told Haberman to mean that Trump did not want to use the same bathroom as his black predecessor. Although, maybe he just wanted a new toilet that was capable of flushing more documents.
People are flushing toilets 10 times, 15 times.
No, he's an old school racist. Which again is why a lot of MAGA loves him. They think the same way. They hate the same people that he hates. They think black people can never be as smart as them. And that policy-wise, that belief justifies starving those communities of funding, right? Of programs, denying them the opportunity for an education, or just plain out opportunity at all, as well as over-policing them. I mean, again, you heard all the stuff that he's talked about when it comes to black community. They're thugs, they're rapists, they're terrible people, they're all criminals, etc. And so, yeah, they've gotten themselves to believe that black people are genetically inferior, and therefore, well, if they're inferior, well, then no amount of money is ever going to help them. So why bother? It's just a waste. It's just a waste of money. That isn't, of course, unless they get into sports, then, as Laura Ingraham put it, they should shut up and dribble, because that's all they're good for. That's a right-wing position. Now, Donald Trump himself, he buys into that genetic stuff, since he's always talking about how has great genes, he's got the best genes, that's why he's so smart. So yeah, definitely old school, casual racist. And this is just another example of that. All right. Moving on, let's go to something a little bit more serious. Legally, I suppose. In what could be pretty bad news for former President Donald Trump's legal case involving the 11,000 documents that were seized from Mar-a-Lago in August, not even a month after paying $3 million to retain lawyer Chris Kise, the Trump legal team has apparently moved him off the case. Interesting. According to a report, Kise is expected to remain on Trump's legal team, but is not leading the work related to the federal government's investigation into how the former president handled 11,000 documents seized from his Florida home following a lengthy effort by the government to retrieve them. Remember, they asked him over and over again, over months, hey, we know you have the documents, just please send them back. They don't actually belong to you. And so, we know you have them. Please make arrangements so you can send them back. And they didn't. They were incredibly obstinate about it. And then, of course, some of the lawyers had apparently signed off on documents saying that, yeah, we had returned everything that we knew we had. So that was a lie. And either the lawyers knew that it was a lie or Trump had lied to the lawyers. But anyway, the reason for the shift remains unclear, and he may instead focus his efforts on other investigations Trump is facing. We all know that there are plenty. which range from business practices to the January 6th insurrection. The move is notable, according to the article, given Kise, the former Solicitor General for Florida, was brought onto the team after a weeks-long search and struggle to find someone willing to take on the case who was also experienced in Florida law. Now, again, Mar-a-Lago is in Florida, and so that's where the raid happened. And yet, the guy who's experienced in Florida law, which I would assume they would try to use to their benefit, is not working on the case? That's weird. That's very strange. The legal strategy for fighting the Justice Department following the August seizure of over 100 documents marked as classified, apparently, according to the report, is also in disarray. Kise's hiring came with the unusual price tag of $3 million, paid for, of course, by Trump's outside spending arm. The retainer fee paid up front raised eyebrows among other lawyers on Trump's team, given the former president has developed a reputation for not paying his legal fees. Trump's spokesperson, Taylor Budowich, said Chris Kise's role as an important member of President Trump's legal team remains unchanged. And any suggestion otherwise is untrue. Fake news. So, look, this could be relevant. This shakeup could be important. It again could be relevant to whatever defense Trump is trying to put up against this investigation by the DOJ. But it's also not surprising, given how Trump operates. I don't think it matters to him how much, who it is and how much experience they have. They don't do exactly what he asked for, what the orange baby tells him, then they're not going to represent him anymore. They're going to get kicked off the case. And he has all the rights to do that, of course. My guess here, and again, I don't have evidence of it. I'm just speculating. But I think that he was either asked to do something illegal or to put his own reputation or license on the line by lying under oath to the courts. So, I mean, again, that's just my read of this, knowing how he has in previous reports. Try to ask his lawyers to do the same thing. And so neither of those things is something that anybody should be willing to do for a client, much less Trump. Again, going to Michael Cohen, you remember how he treated him, right? In that hush money payment case, Cohen went to prison while his co-conspirator had become president of the United States. I'm just going to say it. If you're willing to lie for Donald Trump, you're either an idiot or maybe Trump has some serious dirt on you, which again wouldn't surprise me as well. That said, Kise is not gone. He did get paid, unlike, of course, Trump's other lawyers. And that's because someone other than Trump is out there paying his legal bills. Like his donors or the Republican National Committee. Now, the RNC does not have a history of stiffing everyone under the sun. So that's probably why he took the money. Now, the report also notes that Kise doesn't appear to be deeply involved in Trump's other most serious criminal investigative risk, the Justice Department's January 6th investigation. Kise was also not present in a D.C. federal courthouse last week, alongside the 3 other Trump attorneys who were arguing for confidentiality around Trump's conversations at the end of his presidency. They're also attempting to block a federal grand jury from gathering information from an expanding circle of close Trump aides about his efforts to overturn the 2020 election. Of course, that involves the fake elector scheme that they had come up with, which again, basically would have unelected people who are pro-Trump take over as the official electors, even though they're not the official electors, and would go against the will of the people and vote for Trump anyway in the Electoral College. That was a thing that actually happened. And those, fake electors were going to, if Mike Pence had actually done what Trump wanted him to do, which is to not certify the electoral results, they were going to take advantage of that chaos and say, no, we're going to vote for Trump. Because there's so many questions around the election. So many questions, voter fraud, etc. You're not the real electors. We're the real electors. And we're just going to come in. We're going to vote for Trump because we think that he won. Which in reality didn't. Investigation after investigation, over 60 court cases, of which the Trump team didn't even try to prove voter fraud. They couldn't even bring it to court. Why? Because any lawyer is not going to put their reputation on the line. They're not going to lie under oath because they will get in trouble for doing so, for committing perjury. So they didn't even bring up that case in any of the court cases. And I think that's very, very telling. That said, getting back to Kai's, he left his large law firm that he had been with for over more than a decade, Foley and Lardner, to take the job as a solo practitioner, likely because no one else at that law firm wanted to take the case as well. He previously worked for Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' transition team and has won 4 cases before the Supreme Court. So again, he is considered to be a fairly good, effective lawyer, which is why that $3 million price tag they felt was warranted. And so, look, they already paid him, which is why he's not going to go away, which is why he'll probably take another role. But he's going to take a role where he doesn't have to put himself into legal jeopardy. And so I think that's really kind of the sweet spot. Yeah, you're getting paid by the RNC, you're getting paid by Republicans or Trump's donors, you know, because Trump never pays any of his bills because he's a loser. You know, this guy's like, okay, I'm getting paid and I'm not going to lie. So I don't know, just put me to work. I don't know. I'll staple documents. I don't care. Just, you know, let me do something and I'll just collect the money. In reality, it's actually kind of smart. It's a smart play on his behalf. And so I got to give him credit for that. Because look, as a lawyer, it's got to be pretty awful to represent Trump, who, again, goes out and consistently contradicts you, destroys his own case, puts himself into legal jeopardy, and tries to put his lawyers in legal jeopardy as well. And it's, by the way, why he goes through lawyers more often than Dennis Prager and Newt Gingrich go through wives. They're just burning right through them. It's going to be nobody left. Except, I don't know, like people like Rudy Giuliani, who's already ruined, and his absolute clown shoes. Rudy Giuliani has to hire his own lawyers because he's in his own, bunch of trouble. All of that, all of that gone through by these, again, clown shoe lawyers to most likely get stiffed. Unless, again, you're this guy and we're smart enough to ask for the money up front. This is why just about every single lawyer who wants to remain credible has already run away from Trump, despite the fact that traditionally defending a former president would be an amazing career boost. So, you know, that's really gotta tell you something about how these legal efforts are going. Clowns have higher ethics standards, says Ravaging Greene. What about Ivanka and what about Ivanka and Jared? They broke the law so much. They've broken countless laws. Oh, I'm sure we'll get to those people. Not today, but we'll definitely talk about them as well. But you're absolutely right, Lisa, to point that out. Moving on, let's go to Marjorie Greene. On Tuesday, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene announced a competition for one lucky megachud to join her to go hunting for hogs.
We've got skyrocketing inflation, high diesel fuel, and Democrats' America Last policies. Democrats aren't the only one destroying farmers' ability to put food on the table. We've got wild hogs destroying farmers' fields. So we decided to go hog hunting. Let's help American farmers out. Sign up below and let's go in that helicopter and go hog hunting. Enter to win now.
Let me just bring up this picture. Why did she make herself look like the dumbest Marvel villain that has ever existed? I mean, yeah. Oh, okay. Yes. Let's give her glowing eyes and a blue filter with lightning in the background, because that'll make her look better somehow. Okay. Okay. That's fine. But you know what's funny, though? On a more substantive level, I know that it's hard to believe there's any substance here, but she's saying Democrats are tearing up farmers' crops. They're hurting the farmers. That's what the Democrats are doing. They're hurting the farmers. Those poor farmers. Wait, the left wants more fruits and vegetables to be available, to be cheaper, to be subsidized, and to be involved in school lunches. You guys remember, it's way back when. And this was before Trump, before Marjorie Greene. I know a lot of people look back at those times and like with rose-colored glasses, and they're like, Republicans used to be sane back then. No. Republicans, on behalf of the frozen food industry, had actually killed an Obama-era rule that would have reclassified tomato paste served on pizza as no longer being a vegetable. Republicans, they're like, oh, no, pizza's a vegetable. Pizza's a vegetable. No, it's not. Look, Republicans had fought so hard to keep healthier options out of school lunches. Why? Because they were being pushed by the Obamas. That's it. That's all you had to do.
Obama.
Just be an Obama in office and actually try to, I don't know, make health, lunches a little bit healthier. Doesn't matter. We're going to push back. We're going to fight it. It's amazing. Now, the left, we actually want more farmers markets. We want more locally grown sourced produce. We want less food deserts in inner cities. We want more sustainable farming practices. All of which, by the way, and this is incredibly crucial, this would support small farms and small farmers. There's not a lot of them left, by the way. Look, the large corporate farms, that's who Republicans represent. That's who Republicans defend all the time. Large factory farms that don't do sustainable farming practices. But back to Greene. Now, she's pretty mad over an article that Lee Moran in HuffPost had written about this ad. And the title of this was Marjorie Taylor Greene likens Dems to hogs, wants help shooting them dead. Okay. Well, did she not say something fairly similar? I mean, Democrats, she says, aren't the only ones destroying farmers' ability to put food on the table. Well, that's an actual quote. And look, it's not a lie to point out that Marjorie Greene has used violent rhetoric against Democrats before. And look, she's even literally put out a commercial where she blew up a car with the word socialism on it, while talking about how it's the Democrats that are radical socialists and communists that hate America. So, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with, or entirely inaccurate with that title. That said, she went on a gigantic Twitter rant about it. Quote, HuffPost, I demand you change this headline and your lies about me immediately. Your freedom of press is not freedom to lie about me. I never said anything like this, and I did not call for violence on Democrats. Ma'am, this is a Wendy's. No, okay. Here's the thing, though. She basically went Karen. All right, she's calling the manager on Lee Moran. In fact, she says, Lee Moran, sorry. She says this in the next tweet. Your political activist posing as a journalist writing for your hard left political blog should be fired immediately for such a lie. Your editor should be fired for using his position to greenlight such atrocious lies and character assassinations against me. Wait, hold on. Marjorie Greene, are you calling for the firing of journalists and editors for someone who has an opinion? Wait, isn't that, what is that? Oh, right, censorship. It seems like censorship and cancel culture. I thought you were against both of those things, Marjorie Greene. What is going on? That's, again, very, very cancel culture. There's more. She says, as a matter of fact, I'm fed up with the political hacks in the media who lie about Republicans every single day. You don't get to lie about me and many of my colleagues, calling us Nazis, fascists, any other nasty label you type up and get away with it. There's not one single Republican that has ever aligned with Nazism, fascism, Marxism, socialism, communism, or any other awful political ideology. But I can't say that same about Democrats, Hollywood elites, or the media. Your projection is becoming exposed. Exposed. Did you hear that? It's exposed. All exposed. Except, no, it's not. Tucker Carlson, to give you an example of how she's wrong, Tucker Carlson literally did a segment about the new neo-fascist leader of Italy, Giorgia Meloni, and how her views are not only mainstream right-wing Republican, and actually not just right-wing or Republican, but centrist. And that, these reforms, they should be enacted here. In fact, I've got that video. Take a look.
That's far right, really? Because she acknowledges that American families are under attack? Of course they are. You think it's accidental? No. And she explains why. And it's simple. If you want to establish totalitarian control over a country, of course you have to destroy the family first. Because nobody with deep family loyalty, the one thing every person should have, no one who has that will ever pledge absolute obedience to a politician. Why would you? So if you want absolute obedience, you have to sever family ties. And that's why state schools brainwash your children with values that you despise and then instruct your children to turn you in as a thought criminal if you object. That's happening. It's not your imagination, and it's happening for a reason. Wokeness is not just a political ideology. It's not just something annoying that emerged on college campuses that we can ignore. It's a state religion that supplants actual religion, which is also being destroyed. There's a reason the strip bars and the liquor stores and the weed dispensaries stayed open under COVID, but the churches didn't. If you can't draw the connection between those dots, you're missing it. But Meloni didn't miss it. She understands it perfectly.
Does she? Oh, she understands perfectly how it's the left that's destroying families. We must then fight back. Oh, really? Okay, so now what are her views, by the way? Well, she believes in the Great Replacement. That's conspiracy theory where immigrants, she says, are purposely being shipped in because it's a plot by George Soros and the Jews to replace native Italians. That's what she believes. By the way, right-wingers in this country also believe the same thing. But, it's the Democrats that are shipping them in to replace white people. She's also anti-choice, anti-LGBTQ, hates trans people, says, quote, yes to natural families, no to the LGBT lobby. Yes to sexual identity, no to gender ideology. Yes to the culture of life, no to the abyss of death. Says, by the way, her political party, and there's plenty more that she said that is very yikesy. Her political party is literally a political descendant of the Italian social movement, which was formed by supporters of Benito Mussolini after World War II. Members of that party, like its regional leader for Sicily, Calogero Pisano, were suspended after publishing a series of Facebook posts praising Adolf Hitler. But as if you weren't sure if they were pro-fascist or not. Meloni herself has expressed admiration for Benito Mussolini. The guy who invented fascism. She was also an admirer of Giorgio Almirante, an Italian Nazi collaborator who had founded the Italian social movement. And has, of course, as far as Greene and other Republicans, because again, Greene said, well, Republicans don't support fascism. We've never at all endorsed fascism, unlike, of course, the left. In fact, there's not one single Republican that has ever aligned with Nazism, fascism, Marxism, socialism, communism, whatever. Well, here's what she wrote on Twitter. Quote, congratulations to Giorgia Meloni and to the people of Italy. It's Greene. Colorado GOP Representative Lauren Boebert also suggested that the recent European elections results show how the entire world is beginning to understand that the woke left does nothing but destroy. GOP Senator Ted Cruz of Texas called the result in these Italian elections spectacular and posted a video of Ms. Maloney's victory speech to Twitter. Tom Carton of Arkansas said this, congratulations to Giorgia Meloni and the winners of the Italian elections. We look forward to working with her and other Italian leaders to advance our shared interests. America is strong when Italy is strong, sovereign, prosperous, and free. So, yeah, I mean, you know, this a couple of examples of the Republican Party, you know, allying with neo-fascists. And again, to go back, they couldn't get enough of Viktor Orban in Hungary. Tucker Carlson spent a lot of time with Viktor Orban. Literally was, broadcasting from Hungary. And the reason they do this is because they are neo-fascists. And one of the biggest tools of fascism, by the way, is inciting violence, political violence against the left. That's what they do. That's what's called stochastic terrorism, where they get the brown shirts to do their bidding, to go and beat up college professors. In our case, to attack the Capitol, to try to prevent the peaceful transfer of power. Brown shirts, same thing. No, the only projection here is coming directly from Marjorie Greene. Okay. All right, move on. One last story for you all to have, again, get back to a little bit of fun. More of the right-wing masculinity crisis. I love it. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton isn't just running for office. He's also literally running from process servers, too. On Monday morning, according to an affidavit filed in federal court, Paxton and his wife, State Senator Angela Paxton, had ran away, fled from a man who was attempting to hand the AG a subpoena to appear in federal court. Now, this is unrelated to the other charges against him that he's been running from for 7 years. According to Mother Jones, Paxton had been named in a class action lawsuit filed by reproductive rights groups in the state of Texas, who are seeking an injunction to block prosecutors from using a 2021 law to target groups that help Texans obtain abortions in other states. Now, wait a minute. If you're not having an abortion in Texas, then it's not illegal. If you're going to another state, it's totally legal. Texas doesn't control the laws of California or Florida or Oklahoma or New York. And I certainly know that if California tried to control the local laws of Texas, well, they would be up in arms. I don't know. They'd probably try to secede or something. Who knows? But yet, here is, Paxton saying, no, you can't leave the state. If you want to get an abortion, you can't leave. You're not allowed. No, we have to control you even if you're outside of our state borders, because this is a state law. No, I don't agree with that. And neither do those reproductive groups, which is why, of course, they're trying to sue. That said, it's been pretty hard to track them down to actually serve them the subpoena. Let me just say that this is a trend, right? I mean, how many stories have we done on this show just specifically, but in all the other shows where you've had these right-wing guys that have been running away from subpoenas. Run. Oh, somebody's going to try to serve me a subpoena. Gotta go. Oops. Run away. Must flee. It's really amazing how, these people that claim to be so incredibly masculine run away just all the time. They're gone.
Bitch, move it along.
Gotta go. Whoa, I'm out of here. Oh, so look, there's more. According to the affidavit, the process server Ernesto Herrera parked outside the Paxton's home, which makes sense. Got out, knocked on the door, and saw both the attorney general and his wife come to the door. And then, funny enough, upon seeing Herrera, the AG backed away and let his wife handle the interaction. He basically disappeared like Homer Simpson in the bushes. Oh, process server, blend in, gotta go. Herrera identified himself as a process server trying to deliver important legal documents to Mr. Paxton. She then told him that he was on the phone. Sure, he was on the phone. Like that one, I forget if it was Ron Johnson that was being asked a question by reporters, and he just puts the phone to his ear, even though you can see the home screen, the fact that he wasn't even on the call. Oh, no, I am very busy. I cannot talk to you right now. Wink, wink. I am very busy. And there's just like a dial tone. Or just, again, the phone home screen. Yeah. And by the way, she also said, not only is he on the phone, but he's in a hurry to leave. He's got to go. After which Herrera handed her his business card and then returned to his car. So it's fun because this masculine man, right-winger, says, you handle it. I'm not going to handle it. Beta male. Very, very strong. Not long after the affidavit stated, Paxton's driver then pulled up in a Chevy Tahoe. And the AG began walking out to the vehicle. This is the best part. Then Herrera called out his name. As soon as he heard me call his name out, he turned away and ran back inside the house through the same door in the garage. Run away, gotta go. Beta male. Oh my God. Again, they're so incredibly scared of everything. What was it? Josh Hawley. It just makes me think of that video. Josh Hawley's running away during January 6th. He's hauling ass. Gotta go. Oh, there's a little bit of danger? Nope. I'm the running man today. Gotta work out those legs. That's right. We gotta go. The weakest people imaginable. I swear, you see the backside of a Republican more than you would anything else. They're running away. Just running away. Sad. Now, a few minutes after that, Paxton's wife ventured out and started the couple's truck, again, sending the wife out to do your job, which was then parked in the driveway. Then the attorney general ran from the door inside the garage towards the rear door behind the driver's side. Herrera attempted to serve the documents, and again identifying himself, and eventually left them on the ground outside of the vehicle. Beta male. You can't make this up. I mean, I had to leave the papers. It's not going to pick him up. But hey, he got served. Now, of course, Paxton, he was not happy over this reporting. He was very, very angry. From the safety of, I don't know, probably a bunker at this point, behind armed guards, he tweeted this. All across the country, conservatives have faced threats to their safety. Many threats that receive scant coverage or condemnation from the mainstream media. What are you talking about? Any threats that are made against Republicans, the media goes insane. How dare you be uncivil? How dare you threaten Republicans? How dare you even be uncivil to Republicans? No, we must love Republicans. We must respect and honor Republicans. You lefties with your disrespect. You remember all the articles where you had, for example, protesters that would interrupt Ted Cruz's dinner, and how mainstream corporate media, every time that happened, they're like, they were aghast. Oh my God, well, how could you disrupt someone in dinner while they're having a dinner? Don't you have any respect at all? Don't you have any morals? You terrible people. You can't interrupt a man's dinner. You menaced him. Menaced him, I say. The same thing about having a protest outside of Supreme Court Justice's house after, getting rid of reproductive rights, or having the leaked draft of that order to get rid of reproductive rights. How dare you protest in front of a person's home? How dare you, the Supreme Court Justice? Do you not have any respect? You are menacing. You are the terrorists. Real masculine. Real masculine. Again, let me give you the rest of his statement, right? He said, it's clear that the media wants to drum up another controversy involving my work as Attorney General. So they're attacking me for having the audacity to avoid a stranger, who identified himself, lingering outside my home and showing concern about the safety and well-being of my family. You literally sent your wife outside to deal with it. First at the door, and then you sent her out to start your car. You sent your woman out there to do it, which, by the way, she has bigger balls than you do. I mean, come on. Oh, no, we're masculine men over here. Very, very strong. We have strength. Now, in a subsequent statement, Paxton also mixed a threat in there. He said that the server was lucky that the situation didn't, quote, necessitate force. Because that's the mark of a real man, right? You threatened to shoot a man with your gun who was armed with a manila envelope. Yes, very, very dangerous things. Envelopes, very dangerous. You can get a paper cut from that. Oh, my hand. Oh, paper cuts. Oh, they're the worst. How dare you? That's an assault. Shut up. I mean, it just reminds me of how incredibly weak they are. And the same people that get triggered by Skittles and iced tea. When they have the guns, they're constantly afraid of everything. It is bizarre. They're the same people that also constantly target others on the other's political spectrum, by the way. And not only that, but also against members of their own political party, like in the case of Mike Pence. Literally had a crowd saying, hang Mike Pence. No, they're afraid of everything, and yet they also target others with threats of political violence. And in the case of Paxton, pass laws to ensure that the state cracks down on people who are just trying to live their lives. Remember, Texas is investigating. They have a law that investigates the parents of trans children, for child abuse, for actually just being good parents. Where people in Texas are encouraged through monetary incentives, bounties, to snitch on women who seek abortions in other states. On and on. Not about freedom. People like Paxton, they claim to love freedom. And then they go around and they create this kind of atmosphere in their own states. No, these people are incredibly weak. And this is total projection from a very weak man who seems to be like he's in a little bit of trouble. All right. Let me, I guess maybe I just end with Beta Male. Okay. So, that's all I got for the show today. Chipperdoodle and PA over on Twitch. Thank you for resubbing for a month at Tier 1. 22 months. It says, yay, and happy belated birthday. Thank you. Appreciate that. Much appreciation to all of you. Virginia Thomas, aka Ice Dragon, says, honestly, I believe 45 thinks girls' bathrooms have urinals instead of only stalls. I don't know why he would think that, because he seems to have been in enough, at least girls' changing rooms. You believe the stories from when he was, used to run, I think, the Miss Universe pageant, where he would go into the dressing rooms of, the girls. And some of them were underage. It's nothing I haven't seen before. Disgusting. Elwell, thank you for the very kind $10. And Corio, thank you for the, again, very kind $10 for my birthday. Appreciate that. Miss Teen USA, thank you, Red Hobbit. That's what it was. I thought it was Miss Universe, but yeah, no, Miss Teen USA, which, again, makes it worse because they're underage in a lot of cases. Some of the cases. And it was his contest. I was allowed to do it. It was my contest. I could go in whenever I want, for however long I want, and leer at whoever I want. Yeah, it's disgusting. Miss Universe was also his. Yeah. All right, so, creepy stuff. I'm a very creepy, disgusting individual. MAGA wants him to be president again. Not just president, by the way, but to be dictator. That's what we're dealing with. When you're famous, they let you do it. Famous words, indeed. All right, so, Twitch. We're going to do a raid. We'll raid into Francesca Fiorentini over at TYT, doing their thing. So go check her out. Send, make it known that I sent you. You could. To everyone else, again, thank you for the super chats. Thank you for tuning in. Please remember to like and share the stream. If you haven't already, subscribe to the show, to the channel. One of these days, we're going to hit over 168,000. It's, I've been out there long enough. And of course, on Facebook, please give us a like and a follow. And on, of course, Twitch, follow our channel as well. All right, everybody. Thank you. Hopefully you had a great Wednesday. See you back here tomorrow, right here. Love you all. And remember, change begins with you. Good night, nation. Have a great night.
Tighten up my meat. I like my meat tight. How you like that, boy?
Up yours, wolf warrior. We'll see who cancels who.
Venezuela.
No.
Obama!
Sexual anarchy.
You're kicking me out the door. You're kicking me out the door.
Disappointed.